tomorrow. We're going to get rejected on the calculator here. So if I get it into standard form, minus 6b plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is not in standard form. This now is in standard form. So A, B, C. All right, so if I set it up, A is 8, 3, it's long, big fraction bar, 2, 8. Okay. If I throw this in the calculator, I'm going to get rejected. I'm going to get a big error. So what am I typing? Negative 6 plus rad negative 6 squared minus 4, 8, 3, 2, 8. Okay, I type it in the calculator and I get math error. The reason why is what's happening is inside this radical here, you are getting a negative number. You cannot. So, you guys know the square root of 4 is plus or minus 2, right? Like if I give you guys the square root of 4, you're going to give me 2, right? Okay, if I ask you guys what's the square root of negative 4, I get error. Right. Remember, this is a product, so if you have 4, remember, positive 2 times positive 2 is positive 4, which is 2. Square root of negative 2 times negative 2 is still the square root of 4, which is 2. But how do you come up with a negative 4? You would have to have a 2 and a negative 2, and those are not a pair. So your calculator will not process like a negative 100. I get an error. Square root of negative 25. I get an error. Okay, so you have to solve it by hand, and so what's going to happen is you're going to end up with what's called an imaginary root, or it's called a complex number, and it's usually an a plus bi form. This is the real number. The b is your imaginary number. Now, I'll tell you guys can go as far as you want, but I'll tell you, I'll put the happy face where it's beautiful. You'll get perfect credit. Okay, so here, let's get to it. Okay, x is equal to negative is a positive, plus or minus. This is 36. Negative 4 times 8 times 3.
5 over 2 is 2.
So that gives me negative 96. And see, this is where your negative number is coming in. And 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, x is equal to 6 plus or minus. What's 36 minus 96? Negative 60. So here's where I'm having issues. Okay, this is still good. If you guys solved it up to this point, you would receive probably 85% of the credit. You're not wrong. Okay, what you guys need to understand is this is where imaginary comes in. The square root of negative 1, did you guys hear that outside, is I. So this is where that little I comes in right here. Okay, so x is equal to 6 plus or minus. I would break it up. So if you guys see the square root of negative 60, it's really the square root of 60 times the square root of negative 1, right? You guys know how to separate it? This is I. And then if I grabbed a calculator, what is the square root of 60? 2 rad 15, right? Okay, so, and then if I wanted to put it as a decimal, I'm going to keep going, you guys, so if you're like, you lost me. That becomes 7.7. Okay, so you can express it as 2 rad 15i or 7.7i. So here, do you prefer 2i rad 15 over 16? This is acceptable. Or you could even just put 6 plus or minus I rad 60 and you just took the negative out. This is perfectly acceptable. Or you could even go to the decimal and put 7.7 I all over 16. If you guys are doing honors, they're definitely going to want you to take it down, and they're going to want more, meaning, do you guys understand? So look, you're good here, okay? If you understood fractions, put this in the calculator, put this in the calculator, and you will get it to a plus bi form. So what's 6 divided by 16? 0.375, so we'll just go 0.4. Plus or minus, what's 7.7 divided by 16? 0.5, 0.5. I, and this is perfectly in a plus bi form. So it can go on and on and on. This, if they ask you to express it in complex number form, they want you to go all the way down. But if you're in this class, if you get it to here, this is great. If you give me this or this, you're good. Yeah? Okay, it's just how far do you want to go with the calculator? I'll do a lot of them, but if you ever get rejected on the calculator, you're talking imaginary. I think this is still better than the factoring when A is not 1, right? This is just your calculator. Okay. Can I turn it off or? Yeah. What time is it even? 36? Oh, okay. Oh, you guys are so good today.